probably Geithner or Hank Paulson. I can't remember.
Right.
Whichever one. Either Hank Paulson under Bush or Geithner under Obama. Probably under Obama because we're talking about mortgages. Yeah. And what he was saying was, he asked Geithner, he said, what if you just made people's mortgages whole so that all of the bets placed on them just turned out to be okay instead of buying the trillions of dollars of debt? And Geithner, or whoever it was he was talking to at the time, said, yeah, but that would be a moral hazard. And John is like, well, so you're saying there's a moral hazard in teaching people that you can make them whole on their mortgage, but there's not a moral hazard whenever you give money to the banks, which bet hundreds of billions of dollars of bets on people's mortgages. And the Treasury Secretary was like, yeah, it's just different. It's just different. The whole too big to fail thing. It's just kind of amazing because I think it exactly exemplifies what's happening now, which is that people are like, how are we going to bail out the stock market? How are we going to bail out, this business or that business? The easiest way to do it is to downstream give people money. Our economy runs, 70% of our economy is consumer spending. If you give consumers money to spend, all the other chinks in the chain, they'll be taken care of. But they can't do that, Ryan, because of moral hazard. But it's not a moral hazard in order to take care of the cruise line industry, which isn't even flagged here in the United States, flagged in Bahamas explicitly to avoid taxes. Right. And now they're supposed to get our money while our citizens, don't have anything. I just think it's ridiculous. I thought John just put it perfectly in calling out the ludicrousness of that argument.
Yeah, and it comes down to a fundamental question of who needs to be disciplined by the market and by the government. And so the neoliberal strain of economics, which then has its own strains that run before it, has always said you need to discipline the people. If you don't check them with routine bouts of misery, unemployment, and poverty, then who knows what they're going to demand from their betters. Versus the others who say, no, actually the people that control the economy or have the power to control the economy are the financial sector. And so those are the folks that you actually need to discipline, because what they need to be is a utility that provides ways to get investment capital out into productive areas of the country. That's it. They don't need to do anything more than that. And the second that they start doing a whole lot more than that, you're going to start seeing investments distorted. You're going to see money siphoned off the top.
Right.
If you think about it, if a water utility executive had 8 swimming pools and nobody else could even fill up a bathtub before it got cold, the public would be like, wait a minute, you're running a water utility. You're not supposed to have all the water. You're just supposed to distribute it to everybody else. And that's what we have with Wall Street now, which is it's what ought to be a utility. What was described as a utility early in capitalism has developed into everybody. They just are keeping these massive pools of this capital. And what they learned from 2008 is if they take these reckless risks and they go belly up, then they will be taken care of. And that is the precise definition of a moral hazard.
That is literally a moral